we all have people in our lives who are suffering, as you said. What's the percentage of people who've been through traumatic, painful experiences and are coping rather than healing? And I know many people who've had children in those situations, and some made it through and some did not. And first, let me just take a moment. Thank you so much for your contribution to this planet and saving and reaching so many people. It's unbelievable. And for sharing this today. It's not our standard topic on conversations for leaders, but parents are leaders too. And you have to help them find their way out, because I think what I hear correctly, because we're talking clinically now a little bit, is they're alone and they're in pain. And when they re-experience that, they're still in pain, but they're not alone. And that becomes that bridge to the outside world. And they have that cathartic moment. Just like you said, what if you could heal and not just cope? When you have that, and it's like a bridge, and that the sadness, maybe the tears that come up, is a release rather than holding it in. And that's part of the beginning of the healing process. Is that true?
Yeah, it's a release, it's a relief, and it helps them to feel unlocked. See, something else they need to know, and you're right, thank you for giving me the leash, and I hope people are listening to this. There'll be a lot of people that will say that has nothing to do with my business, and listen to some of his other episodes then.
Thanks.
But here's something that really sort of touched me, but it gives you an insight if you're worried about your kids. I remember I asked one person I'd seen, I said, what has helped? It seems like this is helping. What has helped? And I found this so poignant. He said, I'm a burden to everyone. I worry, frighten my parents. My brothers and sisters think I'm a manipulator, and there's some truth to that. And there's a part of me that feels like, and I'm a burden to myself. So why don't I just relieve everyone of that burden? And I said, so what has helped? And he looked at me and he said, you're the only person who enjoys me. You're the only person who, when I see you, I put a smile on your face. And it's not about, not just about, did I follow through on something? Did I take medicine? Yada, yada, yada. And, and he said, at first, I thought you were looking at someone else, but you have this smile that you're glad to see me. And in that moment that you're glad to see me, and it has nothing to do with whether I'm following treatment recommendations, in that moment, I'm not a burden. He looked at me and he said, I thought you were crazy, but but clearly you seem to enjoy me. You were crazy for enjoying me. How can you enjoy me? So I'm just sharing that because it was just so poignant.
Does that go to, I mean, when you talk about, it seems like on the surface level, you say, well, what does this have to do with my business? The reality is that there is a parallel in every single relationship that you possibly have with your employees, with your customers, with your family member, with your kids, because it's really about the connection. The salesperson who has a product and the other person doesn't need it, that's coming from you're here, not they're there. So in all of these situations, the answer is to create that empathy, to create that connection. Because if you understand where they're coming from, that's what it's all about. And for this situation, it's acceptance. In this one specific situation, the power of it wasn't conditional on tasks or behaviors. It sounds like you just really accepted that patient as who they are.
Yeah.